Let's say hunker down.
Hunker down.
Hunker down, y'all.
Hunker down.
Hunker down.
Hunker down.
Hunker down.
Hunker down.
Hunker down.
Talk into your mic a little bit so I can look at what the thing is. It had good characters. It was set in outer space. I really like ones that are set in outer space because I just hate superheroes on Earth. I think it's kind of dumb, which is why I'm a fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Also, good soundtracks.
Those were good. I just was so bored by the fact that, like, oh, Iron Man thinks that this is a problem, and so he's got all these guys, and it's like, nobody fucking cares about your little beef. Like, you're both like, oh, this is just too rash. We're going to get in trouble with the UN. Like, that's the story? Give me a break.
Who thought that? Captain America thought that?
Yeah.
Oh. He was being all, well, I don't want to say like, all-American, but he was being, you know.
He was being a cop.
Okay.
Fucking cop.
Well, I mean.
A UN cop.
As a socialist, you should probably be all about Captain America and fuck Iron Man.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like either one of them.
Yeah, but you could vote Captain America out, whereas you're kind of stuck with Iron Man as long as he's got a monopoly on defense contracts and
that's
weaponry.
True. Nobody
shit.
should ever be allowed to be that rich.
Yeah. I hate any superhero that's rich guy.
Yeah.
Him and Batman they're not anything but rich guy.
Spider-Man was a weird teen. That was pretty cool.
That's fine. He got infected by something, and that's his superhero.
It's just that in real life, like, it doesn't work because you get, like, Elon Musk trying to get people out of the cave.
Well, Iron Man was based on Elon Musk. Or Elon Musk modeled himself off of Iron Man.
Right, so...
Oh, God.
But in real life, it doesn't work.
I think it's definitely the latter, and fuck Elon Musk, then. Mm-hmm. We got to get rid of that guy.
Totally.
They should make... I'm pretty sure I'm going to get eliminated now that I've said that.
No, did you know that he tried to build, like, a child coffin submarine to get the kids out of the cave in Thailand? It's like... Bitch, we don't need you. We got, like, divers.
How would that have even worked? Right. The problem is that the kids need to bend their way through that little pitch.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't even paying attention.
Exactly. Did you see him doing that?
No.
So, like, while they were all this week, while they're actually going in the cave, like, getting people out, he's sitting there on Twitter talking about how he could, like, I could make a submarine that get everybody out.
Musk?
Yes. Yeah, he was showing pictures of, like, we're testing the sub in the pool right now in California, and it's like...
I saw a graphic that showed the little pitch they got to go through is 3 Mars bars wide, and I don't see how a submarine could get through that unless it bent. If it was a solid case submarine, no way it's getting through there.
Right, it's like a slinky.
He needs to send a fucking pump,
right?
A big ass pump that'll pump all the water out.
But but at the end of it, like today, like they got them all out. Like, oh, we got all the children out, and then like about like an hour and a half later, Elon's like, my submarine is ready. I'm sending it. You can have it.
He was like, it's there just in case. And it's like, bitch, you're just littering.
How did the kids get in there? I know that it had not rained, and they went in there, and then it rained, and it blocked their exit, right?
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
I think they had to go in deeper because of the rain.
The rain was coming, and they ran through it. So they all had to run through that little pitch.
I think so.
Okay, well, they know what's coming then.
Oh, it was really freaky. I was not paying attention to it. My coworker and I were talking about it today, and we said that it sounded like a fake news story that would have been in the background of a BoJack Horseman episode. Like, that just, like, Thai cave rescue. Like, it would be in an episode, like, 15 times.
It would be a thing that's going on in the news.
Yeah, that, like, Tom Mumbo Jumbo is reporting on.
Right.
And I said, yeah, it sounds like a BoJack parody of the Chilean miner story.
Right.
But it turned out it was real. And then on Sunday was when I actually, like, started reading about it. And at first I was like, oh, they're stuck in a cave. Like, okay, whatever. And then I, like, actually read about it and it became real for me. And then I was totally riveted and freaked out.
That they were miles into the cave.
Yeah.
Like, because at first I thought, I was like, okay, whatever. They just got to get in, find it, and then I was like, no, it's like, I saw a little graphic that was way out of scale. And it said, yeah, they have to travel through this little tunnel for 1.2 miles. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
1.2 miles.
There were 2.5 miles in there.
So I have two questions. The first question is, I guess somebody needs to explain to me why they went in there.
For team building exercises.
Yeah, an initiation ritual.
Yeah.
Both are true.
6 miles into the ground?
Well, no, it started raining. Some torrential downpours came. Not the regular kind. Torrential.
Monsoon.
And that filled the cave up full of water, and to get away from it, to prevent from
so
drowning,
they were pushed in.
They pushed
they
in
were pushed
further into the
in.
cave, and they ended up on like a muddy bank.
Yeah,
and that's where they've been chilling for 9 days.
Yeah, because their coach was teaching them meditation, and that's partly why they survived, was he was keeping them calm and, like, you know, being a good dude.
So my second question is, do these lines look good to you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we're doing the show, right?
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Okay.
So I figured, we could either stop and...
I figured this is all useful material.
Right, so
okay,
there you
cool.
go.
Well, let me go get some beers while y'all talk. We don't have to introduce ourselves anymore, do we?
Yes, every time.
All right, well, I'm Lance Vargas, one half of the Dirty Boys Gallery with Jeremy Hebert, at Varg Vargas on Twitter and Instagram, and I really don't want y'all going to my Facebook, so fuck that.
Great intro.
Oh, okay. So, hi, everybody. I'm Jeff, and this is Alli.
Hi, Jeff.
And, hey...
and Varg just went to the kitchen.
And Varg is gone.
Now we can say all this mean things about him that we planned.
Right. So, we're on the West Bank.
Yeah, we're actually at Varg's house.
Which is kind of scary because we're in this quiet as fuck neighborhood, like wedged right up against the river.
We're back in New Orleans, but I had to go through Jefferson Parish to get here, which was very strange.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like that at all.
You had to get your visa stamp.
I don't
twice.
like to go through JP if I don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like JPSO has an eye on me, so.
But why do you feel like that?
For my political activity.
So you have like evidence that they're tracking you, or is this just some?
No, this is just a feeling I have.
Alli's paranoid corner.
Yes.
I feel like that for just the thoughts in my head. And I owe them $107, I think. They never fucked with me.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. I don't think you should be all right, but always a good plan to skip Jefferson Parish if you can.
Was your car in order? Like, did you have like missing brake lights?
Oh, my car is good.
Up to date.
Yeah.
So they don't have any reason to pull you over.
No.
Because if you take the bike, like that's $1,000 ticket.
Well, in Orleans Parish.
Okay.
In Jefferson Parish, they'd probably just shoot you.
I mean, come see, come saw. I was telling y'all earlier.
I'd rather be dead than pay $1,000 bicycle ticket. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that guy gonna have to pay the $1,000?
No, I think they're working with him.
They have to be.
They have to be.
I got one for $150 back in the day, and I think I ended up having to pay like $70 or something plus court costs.
That's a lot. You had to pay $70 for
driving the wrong way on my bike in the French Quarter.
What the fuck?
And the guy said, "Man, if you hadn't done it in front of my supervisor, man, I wouldn't have given you anything."
Yeah, bosses really are the worst.
Legit, dude.
I did get a camera ticket recently. I came home from work a little bit early, and so it was still a school zone time. But I was 4 minutes away from it not being a school zone, and I was driving up Canal Street, which is a 35-mile-an-hour street, and I was going 26 in a 35. But it was speed limit 20 for 4 more minutes, and so I had to pay a $75 ticket.
Oh my god!
I was so mad.
I got one.
Were the lights flashing?
No, the lights were not flashing.
Okay. They said this week that
it doesn't matter.
LaToya wants to take the cameras down, except for the ones in the school zones during the school zone hours.
I mean, so here's the thing. Even though I got the camera ticket, I'm actually like generally pretty supportive of the speed cameras, or mostly the red light cameras, because people run red lights in this town more than anywhere that I've ever been in my entire life, and it's extraordinarily dangerous. And I don't know, like, what the fuck is people...
Oh, well,
people
it's not extraordinarily dangerous.
To run a red light? Yes, it is.
It's extraordinarily dangerous to just blow right through one. It's not extraordinarily dangerous to kind of slip through one at the end.
Sure it is.
Nah, I'm going to have to go ahead and
people go through them like 2 seconds after the light changes.
Yeah.
At Broad Canal.
It's safer.
It happens like every day.
You just watch for that. You look both ways before you go. That's what my daddy taught me.
Oh my god, no.
Defensive driving.
Do you?
And what if you're a single mom? What if you can't afford $75 to pay that fucking ticket, or you're not paying attention, and blah 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 blah. It's a fucking illegal tax on the citizens by out of town fucking company who gets most of the fucking revenue.
That I think is fucked up. I agree
and I don't
with that.
think it makes anything safer. Fucked up, slamming on my brakes, trying to not get a ticket, and the guy behind me almost ran into me.
You're right. We should just ban cars.
Well, first of all, have you observed that it's worse here than it is other cities where people run the red lights?
It's really hard to tell because I've not been. Nothing seemed as bad as Philly.
Okay.
I've not been to Philly.
I'm always suspicious of it when people say that the drivers here are really terrible, because I feel like they say that in every city. Like, damn drivers in Nashville are shitty drivers. Or wherever you are, somebody's going to say that.
Yeah.
So is it? I mean, it may be true. Like, are they just shitty drivers everywhere, or is it like?
I think that is also true. Is that like American drivers generally are terrible.
Okay.
Yeah, but I feel like I see more red lights run here, but I also drive more here, so it may be an
fine with
observation
red lights
bias.
being run. I'm like, hey.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
No, you take your chance. I don't want like.
I mean, what do you have to
traffic tickets?
So you're just
being.
No, I'm fine with you running in a little bit at the end.
Right. You're
I
just
don't want
saying,
you just blowing straight through it.
Right.
But hey, at the end, the intersection. First of all, some of the intersections are too long, are too big, because you got a neutral ground that's usually pretty big. Canal and Carrollton. I mean, Carrollton and Claiborne's a good example. And you've got that dumbass light in the middle, right? Mm-hmm. That who stops there? You're supposed to stop there if you're halfway through the intersection.
I've done it before.
Right? And I have too, but I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing this.
That's why there's two lights.
Okay, fine. Let's say you're coming from the other direction and you're trying to turn left, right? Do you have to stop at that light when you're crossing through that little middle light? If you're going in the other direction, you know what I'm saying?
There's some intersections that are there's house rules.
Exactly.
Napoleon and Chop is a good example of that, because if you're coming down Chapatoulas and you're heading either direction, and you stop at Napoleon Avenue,
that is
or if
by
you're
Tipitina's.
Yeah,
that is a great example.
You're halfway across Napoleon there, right? You're in the middle, and the light's green going towards the river, and people are behind you and they're trying to turn left, and it's backing up and backing up and backing up behind you, and like the civil thing to do is just to blow through the red light, because there's nothing coming off the river.
But is it legal?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
But everybody does it.
Exhibit A. Nobody knows what to do with that middle light. Okay? So, also, there are some instances in New Orleans, and I think by your house there's one of them, Canal and Carrollton, where if you're coming from the city and you're trying to turn left and go down Carrollton towards Claiborne, you pretty much have to go fucking to the Herb Import Company before you can find a place to fucking turn around.
No, you can turn around right away. There's a little U-turn right there.
Okay, there are some where there are signs that say no U-turns. And then what if you don't want to... So it says, there's nowhere on there that says no left turn right there.
Nope.
Okay, well on Tulane Avenue
there's one that they have... On Canal now, they have the no left turn light signs that light up when the streetcar is near. So it's not on all the time, but when the streetcar is coming, it'll flash and say, don't turn left right now, because a streetcar's coming.
This is on Canal and Carrollton. You can take a left on Canal and Carrollton.
No, you have to go through that U-turn right
Okay, well, that's a little different than most cities.
Yeah,
most cities, when you get to an intersection, everybody's allowed to go whatever way they want. But here in New Orleans, we have to go to...
No, I'd say most cities have protected left turns.
Yeah, there's a lot of them you got to go up and come back.
Sure.
Or in Michigan,
but when you get to the intersection,
turn right and then do a U-turn. It's called a Michigan left.
Okay, well, it is so rare and obsolete, its name is attributed to the fucked up place where it has to be done. It's not normal, right? Well, in New Orleans, there are several intersections like that where you have to go several blocks with no left-hand turns or no U-turn signs. And the other day, I forgot where I was at, but I ended up just driving through somebody's neighborhood just to try and get to...
Yeah.
Right? So fuck all that. I'd rather just run the fucking red light or break a fucking law to do it.
Okay. So, just to be clear, you're not saying ignore all the red lights. You're saying there's situations where, like, you can kind of...
Honestly, yeah.
Right.
Like, go ahead and we should be allowed an extra 2 seconds after the light turns red to go ahead and blow through it and not worry about me, myself, or some single mom with so many kids. More for her, probably. But we should not have to worry about getting
trolling.
a $75 fucking ticket.
Yourself, you're just trolling.
I'm with her too. But I'm with me too. If your laws, if your traffic laws and your civil engineering are as fucked up as it is here, and it is fucked up, more fucked up here than anywhere else in the country, except for probably some parts of Michigan, then fuck that. Don't give us a ticket for every bullshit thing we have to fucking do. I mean, no, you have to go through every fucking light twice if you want to take a left in this fucking city.
Slow down if it turns yellow and then stop before it turns red. It's really not that fucking difficult.
It could turn yellow where it is not safe to slow down and be red by the time you get across some of the larger intersections.
I know what you're talking about, and that's an example of a mistimed light. Because it shouldn't happen. If you're going the speed limit and it turns yellow, it should stay yellow for the whole time and then turn red by the time you get out of it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who, they come up to it and they're like, nah, fuck it. And they just decide they're just going to keep going. And it's like 2-3 seconds after the light.
I wonder if those cameras are calibrated to catch those people, or they are calibrated to catch somebody who blows through it at any time. I bet you they only take pictures of people within the first few seconds, the people who are trying to go somewhere, taking care of business, and getting a fucking illegal tax put on them by that bullshit that I thought LaToya was going to save us from, but now they're going to get us with the worst ones, the fucking school zone ones, where sometimes the lights aren't blinking, and
so
they still fuck you over.
It's a big difference.
Probably on Saturdays too.
Yeah, it is kind of a big difference. They're going from all the places where they have the speed and I guess the red light cameras installed, and they're going to shut those down, but they're going to leave the school zones on only during school zone hours, which is weird because the lens has been.
One, you still got to go down there and fuck with them about it.
I just don't know how it's going to work because the lens has been reporting about how those flashing lights don't actually work. Like during the school zone hours, they don't have the technology to make the lights come on when the school zone hours are in force. How are they going to know if the camera's on or off at the right time? And it's going to be a clusterfuck. It's going to be like every time. Oh, it wasn't the school zone that day. Blah, 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 blah. People are going to have all these bullshit tickets, like the dude on the bicycle, just bullshit tickets that they have to go and contest all the time.
And yeah, it's one of those things where the burden of proof is on the person who's getting the fine,
right?
And otherwise, and that's a way that fucking little people who don't have time to, or who wants to go down there, it's easier to just pay it off. And the error, like it's a soda machine that doesn't work, right? People keep fucking putting money into it, and it's better for the soda company to not fucking fix the machine,
right? Because
by the time you put your money into it and you figure out it doesn't work, you're like, well, fuck it, man, you're just gone.
Right.
So it helps them. It's better for them to not do a service that works.
I was surprised to see how much it costs for, like, for example, just riding your bike the wrong way on the street. It's like $150, and then the other stuff like not registering the bicycle, having an unregistered bicycle is something like $100-something,
which ended up being the biggest bullshit one of them all, because people were like, "Here's what you
register your bike without like an original receipt." It's like
right. So there's a hilarious follow-up article to that where was it Chelsea Braston? She went and tried to register her bike.
Yeah. And
I mean, she rolls into the police station, and they don't know what she's talking about, basically. And when they have to go get the person who knows how to do it, but then they tell her that she needs to get either the receipt for having bought the bicycle or a signed and notarized affidavit saying that it's her bicycle.
It's ridiculous.
So she has to go cross the street to the notary, and that cost her like $30-something.
Yeah.
And then she comes back, and when she brings the bike in, with the notarized affidavit and all that bullshit. The lady
she
goes,
said in front of a witness, "This is my motherfucking bike." That's all she had to do.
Right. But then she brings all that stuff back, and maybe I should read this part or not.
Do it.
Okay. Okay. So she goes. She comes back. She says, "I had the money order. I had the affidavit stamped and all from a local notary, and I had my bike, which I rolled up to the department's front desk. Within minutes, a woman appeared to fill out my registration form. She wrote in my contact information. She came to the line for the serial number. She goes, 'That's not right,' she said. 'What?' 'That number isn't the serial number.' My eyebrows raised. I wasn't eager to leave NOPD empty-handed for the third time," which is so like she had all the shit that she had, like the number on
So
the
notary
number
was wrong because there was a 7 when they should have been a 1.
Right. And they almost rejected it, so she had to get back. Like they had to look under the bike and find the bike's serial number and correct the form. Which
they can't do that after the notary.
Well, they did, but they're not.
Well,
supposed
they should have
to.
just done that fucking shit the whole time. Then you're not gonna. If you're gonna go by the book, then go by the fucking book. I'm with you on that. Yeah, it's fucking stupid that the serial number was wrong, but then if you're going to bend the rules afterwards, then just bend the rules from the fucking start, you
Or just
dickhead.
throw out the rules and start over since they clearly don't work.
Right.
Who
It's
made
one or
that
the
rule
other.
in the first place? Was it council? Was it an NOPD policy? I mean, this is dumb.
Right.
Who can change it?
Also, why do you need to register your bicycle? What is the purpose of registering your bicycle?
Well, how does it protect people? I guess if you get it stolen, you can prove that it was once yours.
Yeah. How many times has that worked out for somebody?
That
Like,
I'm
never.
speaking hopefully. Like, that's the way it's supposed to fucking go.
Yeah.
But probably never.
No.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just bullcrap. Like, it's
I just grind my name into the fucking thing when I get one.
Sure.
Just take my grinder and put my name on it and be like, you're going to have to scratch that shit off if it's yours. And then I do it. Then I put a little secret code somewhere else on the bike that'll look just like Nick's.
I think.
I just drill a little hole and then I write a little note to myself. And then I shove it in the bike tube and then plug the hole. And then if I ever need to retrieve it, I know it's there.
If someone's like, "Is this your bike?" and you're like, "I don't know." Dig that little hole out and pull that note out.
Yep.
And you should see the lyrics to the Smiths, "How Soon Is Now."
Exactly. I like to use my bike as a spy dead drop for an angsty teen. It's really just my only goal in life.
And you're like, "Well, sure as shit, there it is. It's her bike."
Wow.
Unless she knew that information otherwise.
This has a lot of boys' names crossed out.
So yeah, that was dumb. And the guy was somebody. He wasn't. If he hadn't been somebody, probably would have never been the light of day. So you got to think it happens a lot.
He was kind of somebody. He was.
I mean, he was.
He was a musician.
Yeah.
He was a black somebody, but he was still fucking somebody, man. Come on.
Okay. Everybody.
You got to understand that
And,
probably happens to dudes that aren't musicians.
Yes.
For popular bands all the fucking time. That was the tip of the iceberg, and who knows how many times that has happened.
Yeah.
Just keeps that motherfucker down forever.
Yeah.
Gets him in the fucking system, and then he's got to fucking jump through any number of hoops to get out, and then he's not fucking taking care of his family or finding a fucking job and shit. Or he is calling somebody he knows, his brother-in-law or somebody, who's a clerk, and then she goes in there and booty bops for somebody, and she gets him hooked up.
So yeah, I mean, the thing that you do is you.
No, can we talk about that?
You want to talk about the booty bops?
Yes.
Okay.
What the fuck?
He seemed like, what was his name? Hugus?
So yeah, this just happened today.
Oh. This was horrible.
Give me a second. It's in the Advocate. It's right here. It's
Cesspool of sexual harassment.
yeah, calling it a cesspool where sexual harassment was allowed to flourish for years. Mayor LaToya Cantrell is swept out of the leadership of the city's property management department. She said she hopes the city new rules. Blah 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 blah. Allegations were against Herman Hogues, who is the department's longtime operations manager who recently retired. So he's retired anyway.
Great.
But she, what she did was she fired his 2 immediate supervisors. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is kind of a weird story.
One of them was like, well, that wasn't my fault. I reported that shit.
Right. So I thought that was really strange that they fired the other 2 guys who like weren't even really like. I guess one of them should have been responsible for what happened.
Herman, you gotta find the quote that he says in talking, because he said this shit straight out to the Advocate, right?
Which one, Hogues or the?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want someone to read the booty popping quote.
Okay.
I don't care which one of y'all does it.
Okay, so it says, in a rambling interview with the Advocate, Hogues, 73, acknowledged he was unusually close with some female colleagues, saying he would often lend a sympathetic ear to their complaints about workplace spats and low pay. Inside his office, he added, some would even pull up their dresses and dance for him. Displays which he said were, quote, innocent horseplay.
Oh my!
Of course they were.
Which,
God.
I don't know if that actually fits the definition of horseplay.
So...
banter! Horseplay!
It's none of those.
It's
It's
just,
just some sort of play, but it ain't horseplay.
a regular day at the office.
It's cutting up, I think.
There's people, they got their, I mean, what are you doing? Property management, so a lot of papers to sign, some things to get notarized that you got to send back or whatever.
Sure. Taxes,
some
tax
bicycle
forms.
registrations to falsify.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And then, it gets to be a bit much, and so you go in and talk to the old man. And
a really old man.
And I mean,
Herman is his name. Hasn't been named. No one's been named that for centuries.
Inevitably,
decades, really.
Inevitably, those conversations end up with dresses being pulled up for I don't know why.
No, it's not. It wasn't citizens that went in there and got harassed.
No, it's the employees.
All right, so it was more of an inter-office type
Yes.
turmoil, but it could have easily come from someone who needed a favor done. Well, he's described.
So there's more. He says, one thing is, I'm an older guy, but I play, said Hogues. Not sexually, but I do play. It's like, what does that mean? What does it mean?
Probably his dick don't work no more anyways, and he's not really super thrilled with, he's not trying to fuck these girls, but he will watch them. Well, go ahead.
It's not sexual because of, anyway.
He's old, but he flirts.
He's not counting anything but fucking as sexual.
So here's how he describes it. He says, they come in and they ask me advice, and then he's quoting them. Do you know anybody that can help me? Help my children. I need a better job. I need some money, Mr. Herman. Then so this is the situation. And then he says, they come in and they play. And they do the booty pop. And
Booty
show the
pop.
No, he says, this says booty pop.
Booty pop?
That's what.
Okay, my bad.
And show themselves. They show themselves.
They would do that.
They would do that, he said. They would do that.
And then come to find out later in the article, only one of them showed herself.
Well, I mean, his description of it is they.
Right.
So you have to think,
well, it's a rambling interview.
Yeah, just a normal day at the office.
In the property management.
They would come in, they would say they got trouble, they would ask for money, they would ask for favors, they would ask for advice, and then they would, do a little dance. It's a normal thing. He says...
and you can tell Mr. Herman is one of those dudes that when you go to City Hall, you might see him walking around and they've got like the pressed shirt and they're immaculately dressed and they're just kind of slowly like ambling through the hall and they're just, they've been there for, they're just living the life.
Right.
They're a city worker and they've got a high up position and everything's great for them. There's a girl booty popping in their office.
He's been in this job for like 11 years. He's probably been in the department for longer than that, although I don't know. But it just seems like, it's just normal.
Mr. Herman, that's old Mr. Herman. You go in there and you booty pop for him or whatever, and he'll write you a letter for another job or something.
Mm-hmm.
Only one of them exposed herself, although one of the fellas exposed himself later in the article.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So the people who actually got fired were this guy...
I would also like to know what floor this is on. I'd like to know my floors in City Hall.
So it's George Patterson and Edward Sins.
So why would a normal person go there? Because they were trying to, like, they had a lien that they were trying to get off, or like HDLC was fucking with them and they were trying to get a exception.
Property management. That's
Commercial property, like land.
No, city property, like things that the city owns,
like facility management.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Like the things the little the little towers NOPD rises up on.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look it up.
All right. Well, Mr. Herman runs that shit. And...
Yeah. So, but it, like we were saying, the people who got fired were
cityofyes.com. I'm gonna see if cityofno.com still works.
City of no means no or yes, maybe.
Oh, Siri suggested website. Home, City of New Orleans, cityofno.com.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, take that.
Does it still work?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Well, what the fuck, LaToya?
It redirects to NOLA.gov.
Oh, wait. So today, while we were watching the City Planning Commission, you can watch the video from the City Planning Commission
of
the meetings.
The Grip and Grins? That video?
Grip and Grins.
The one that you freaked out about online? Of her meeting everybody and grabbing them and holding them? Or the pictures of her hugging everybody?
No. I'm talking about today's City Planning Commission meeting about short-term rentals.
Okay.
You can watch the video from the meeting while it's going on.
Oh, okay.
When you open the page that goes to the video player, it's still on the cityofno.com domain.
So there's a web designer who is going to migrate it to a different domain. Just is going to require too much bullshit.
It's the fifth floor, by the way.
Okay.
Nice. Okay.
But yeah, so it's still sitting there.
So she's not. She didn't really have all her ducks in a row before she unveiled this City of Yes.
No, y'all, this is interesting. The responsibility of the Department of Property Management ranges from maintenance of city-owned buildings to leasing and renting city facilities, space, and air rights to citizens, agencies, and other various groups or entities. Gallier Hall is among one of the facilities the department manages, and the city's multi-purpose centers, which are rented from the city by various nonprofit agencies. Property management also oversees the operation of the Mahalia Jackson Theater and the Morris FX Jeff Sr. Municipal Auditorium, which I thought was closed. Our facilities maintenance division not only maintains the city buildings, but modifies and improves them as needed. This division also has the responsibility of erecting stages, bleachers, and portalets for Mardi Gras and other city-sponsored events.
They do a lot of stuff.
Mr. Herman ran some shit.
Right, and so you can see why
people would
be stressed out. They would be
booty pop.
They would be in a booty popping level of stress.
Just to gain his favor.
Yes.
They would booty pop.
But the people who actually got fired were his supervisors, who were this guy Ed Sins, and the other one was George Patterson. And
yeah, they're all still listed on the city's website.
Oh, of course they are.
I should screenshot that for posterity.
And
Herman was the chief electrician / operation manager.
Whoa, that's weird.
So you were asking me about what these guys had to say for themselves afterwards, and
well, we've only heard what Mr. Herman did, right? What did Mr. Patterson and what did the rest of them do? Other shit, I'm sure.
What I infer from this is that Patterson was the head guy, in charge, and then Sens is under him. Patterson, in the Advocate, says he actually kind of backed up Herman. He says that the allegations were never proven, and that he says he and Sens were fired after investigators wrongfully accused them of ignoring complaints about Herman's behavior. So, in the same sentence, he says it wasn't a big deal, and also they were wrongfully accused of ignoring the behavior.
Well, the story has to have legs because LaToya who has probably some inside information, called it a cesspool, and it's not a cesspool if it's just Herman. So These other guys probably were also doing some shit as well.
Well, Sens kind of countermands
in
it
a John
little bit.
Besh situation, where he trickles down.
It says Sens, who was hired in 2010, said he was never comfortable with how Hogues treated the office's female employees. So he's saying that he knew what was going on. And
for what that's worth now.
Right. He says, and the quote is, "What I know from the beginning was George Patterson and I had an ongoing problem with Herman being too familiar with the girls.
Especially the 20-year-old ones, they go in his office and shut the door.
And I would tell him personally, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do that, Herman." And George would tell me.
And then he was like, did my part. I said, nah, bruh.
Yeah, and he
didn't report him. He didn't,
No, but he
have agency. Well, it is his boss.
He's throwing Patterson under the bus here. He's saying that he told Patterson about it, and he didn't do anything about it. And that was the end of it. So it's just these complaints went at least to their level and didn't go nothing happened,
Well, he didn't get fired for no reason. Like, she fired him. She must.
Well, she fired them.
Right.
She fired these guys who didn't act on his behavior having been reported.
But that's probably not the only reason why she fired him.
That's what I would like to know.
The story got legs. And
right.
Who's the writer?
It's Jessica Williams.
Okay, well, I'm sure we're gonna have a few more stories out of her, hopefully.
Yeah, because you can kind of start to extrapolate out.
Well, especially now that we know that this department is in charge of rentals of city facilities.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting to me.
Could go on. I mean, it's a cesspool.
Right.
And if there's a cesspool, the metaphor is long, simmering, and widespread,
Yeah, and, there's always, when you have a new administration, there's always one or two things that they do that is like a big splash. Like, I'm cleaning this up. And it gets on the news, and it's usually something really flashy, and this has the potential to be that. And come to find out, there's usually something else going on that we're not really aware of. Although, not to defend any of this.
No.
That's horrible.
But you can pick and choose. Like, if you know that, let's say, sexual harassment is widespread throughout everything, which let's assume that it is, right?
Right.
Then you can pick and choose how you're going to go after somebody for it.
I hope that harassment of that nature as described, especially since he straight up admitted it, I hope that is not pattern of practice throughout all of City Hall. That would be fucking horrifying.
Yeah,
I guess I'm more cynical than you are.
I've never seen that in a professional setting.
It's
horrible.
I mean, there's some stuff in here about how, complaints that were formal under the Landry administration that went to a certain level but never happened. There weren't any consequences.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's not nothing.
Did any of the women who were involved get quoted in the article?
That's a good... no. There's no, direct quote from any of them.
So they got their information...
From other people's reporting on what they said or did. It seems like they single out one of them as being the one who... one particular one who complained most about him.
Okay.
That they're already kind of slamming her a little bit, but they don't say who it is or they don't talk to her. So there's more to it, but that's all we know right now. It's pretty funny though. Whatever. Booty pop.
When I saw that quote, I was like, oh, we should talk about this. During the short prep that I did for this episode, which is better than most episodes in which there's no prep at all other than saying, what are we talking about, Jeff?
What's up next?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. What do you want?
We can go, we can stay local or we can go national because one of Alli's people had a really special, made an impact.
You mean Alexander?
Maybe in your
Ocasio-Cortez?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty exciting stuff. We got socialists out here winning elections and shit.
There was that one, and then...
Wearing the same red lipstick that I wear.
Oh, is that the socialist lipstick?
It is now.
Okay, well, shit, man, get me a pair.
It's red,
Fuck.
so,
Get me a tube. Is that what it's called? A tube of lipstick?
Yeah.
That's the demonym for lipstick?
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit about this girl.
A demonym for Timonym.
This lady.
She won her primary, so but she's in a super Democratic district, so she's almost certain to win in November.
Like wrestler Kane in his mayoral bid in Louisville?
I don't understand your wrestling references, Varg.
Well, it is a political reference because he ran for mayor of, I think, Louisville, and he beat his Republican rival, and everyone's like, the Democrat's going to be no problem. Same shit. Like, if you win your primary, you're in.
So she, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is 28. She's from the Bronx. Her one of her parents is from the Bronx and the other is from Puerto Rico. So she ran a really grassroots campaign. She'd been a former organizer for the Bernie campaign, but she's also a member of DSA. So she ran on a democratic socialist platform of things like free college for everybody and Medicare for all and abolishing ICE and all that good shit. And she won. And it was very... I knew she was running and I knew she was doing well, but I didn't actually think she would win. So that was now everyone is like, well, of course she would have won because those are democratic positions. Like, oh man.
Well,
the co-option is happening so fast.
To begin with, what's made it like the big news that it is was that she ran against Joe Crowley, who
was like the fourth most powerful Democrat in the House.
Right, he's well established.
He was in line for Speaker of the House if Nancy Pelosi was going to step aside. People thought of him as pretty progressive, which just shows you how lame the whole party is.
But he's also this entrenched, like he
was a corporate money guy.
Right, in his power base in New York, I mean, he's they call him the King of Queens.
Oh,
yeah, but it's a typical.
I wanted to sing the King of Queens theme song there, but all that came to my mind was the slap bass from Seinfeld.
Jeff can insert that in if it doesn't take too much time and hold the episode up a few weeks.
So anyway, his organization is one of these, seemingly invulnerable, but actually kind of moribund democratic machines.
Yeah, because it turns out he had never actually won an election or won a primary before. He'd been kind of appointed to the position,
right,
and then never challenged in a primary
because everyone just assumes, well, this is the guy you go to, and there's nothing anybody can do about it, and that's his seat forever.
Yep.
Which is not. I mean, it's not uncommon. The one that comes to mind is Cedric Richmond's spot, right?
Louisiana District 2?
Yeah, so the District 2, which is the New Orleans congressional district, but it's also
the Baton Rouge one.
Baton Rouge now.
And the slice of the river parishes.
Cedric was quoted in the New York Times as, after the Ocasio win, he was one of the young Democrats they went to for comment, and he said that he thinks he's worried now that the party is moving too far to the left.
Sad.
So it's funny to me because I think that New Orleans isn't really right for this at the moment, but it could be. Like, there could have been a leftist organization with a leftist candidate who may have given him more trouble than he thinks. And I think
too late now for said.
Well, yeah, at this point in the year it is, but
all right.
I think that a really good, like, my case for that is the mayoral election, where Desiree's people were basically Cedric's people, and their approach to that campaign, we talked about this during the mayoral election, was they're just going to sit back and do the regular glad handing that they do and run out the establishment people that they know and say, this is us and we're going to push these buttons and our people are going to automatically vote for us because we're Ike Spears and Cedric Richmond, et cetera, et cetera.
They're just going to stay on the ground, run the ball, try and eat up as much clock as possible.
Right. And they did not do any. They did almost no like door knocking and talking to people, and they
wasn't running on anything except that, well, time to run again.
Yeah.
I mean, he had no platform.
Right. So,
which is a persistent problem in Democratic Party elections. It's like, what do you stand for? What do you want to do? What's your vision? What are your goals? They don't fucking have any.
And so the whole mayoral election was about nothing. It was about, one person who thinks that she's kind of entitled to it, and this other person who, like, the LaToya people also don't believe in anything, but they have this facsimile of what a grassroots campaign would look like if you had. I mean, they had some enthusiasm because they went out and they did their listening tour, and they actually did some organizing, right? And I'm not talking about ideology. I'm just talking about just doing the work.
Yeah, getting people out.
And Cedric's people did none of that. And LaToya's people did some of that. And if you had an election where a candidate actually believed in things and Cedric Richmond had to face that, now maybe the situation has shifted now that there's like this kind of earthquake is on the radar, but if it had been here and not there, I think that's a similar situation that could happen.
Yeah.
And Ced's up for election in November?
Yeah, I don't think he's being...
Nobody's...
No, he's
I
not
would
running
also-
against him.
I would like to read
Same situation, kind of.
one of my favorite tweets from after the win from one of my favorite writers, David Roth, who said, "I'm not saying that I knew Joe Crowley was going to lose, but when I saw him at a street festival in Jackson Heights on Sunday, he had a real fired by Colonial Athletic Conference program after 4 conference wins in 5 seasons kind of vibe." So,
yeah.
you know, that's an ongoing joke that they have, though, about how, like, comparing politicians to, like, football or basketball coaches who are about to get fired. And, you know, that whole general gist. And I think it's actually...
Makes perfect sense.
It's more
Everything
apt
is.
than even it appears on the surface, because most politicians who lose are just the most pampered assholes in the first place, just like coaches are. But we have a strange impulse to empathize with them where we shouldn't at all. You know, I remember when Brady Hoke got fired by Michigan, and I was like, wow, I almost feel bad for this guy. And I was like, no, this guy makes more money than I'm ever going to make in my entire life. And, like, why the fuck do I spend 1 second feeling bad for him?
Well, there's a couple ways to look at it. One is that it doesn't matter, to some people it doesn't matter how much money they make. I know that's weird because we're all broke asses and shit. But to some people it doesn't matter how much money they make. It's only about their accomplishment and the view they have in their peers. That's one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is, fuck them. They should be certainly happy about the money that they fucking make. But to some people, it's never enough.
Okay.
I'm not saying feel bad for them, because I don't really feel bad for a whole lot of people anyways.
Right.
But
exactly.
that is why they have that, like, look on their face.
It's a great case for a maximum income, then.
All right, let's talk about it. How much?
$250,000.
$250,000.
Yeah, that sounds great. No one should ever make more than
You can do that.
$250,000 a year.
And then everybody would want to just make $250,000. It's not like everyone would be like, well, fuck it, I'm not going to bother working.
Right.
Because I can only make $250,000 a year.
$250,000.
Plenty of people will be like, I'm going for the $250,000, man.
Exactly.
The same assholes will all be, I've heard people say that, well, why would I even bother working at all? And I'm like, to make $250,000 a year, the same reason why you're working now, pretty much. I'm talking about voters here.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not super rich Instagram.
Not the people who do it for the accomplishment or the judgment of their peers.
Like, yeah, the accomplishment, basically, like our current president and shit. But
Man, remember when we thought he was going to get bored and quit? Those were the days.
Well, it might still happen.
No.
He might.
That's not going to still happen.
He could
He could die on the toilet.
He could have a stroke at any moment.
God, I hope he strokes out on the toilet.
It seems like
so
he
bad.
does once or twice a day, so it's kind of hard.
It does.
Did you hear the thing he said about like how he's like broken more records than Elton John?
Sure.
And like, what brain words were those? Those are
I was worried a little bit, like when Hillary was running. I was like, "Is she got it all together?" And then when I heard that, I was like, "This guy is fucking." Like, hey, we all get a little groggy after lunch, you know? It happens. But fuck.
He only works 2 hours a day.
When I read that, I was just like, "Oh my god, no!"
We don't actually need a president. We really could do without one.
We don't need a president. We don't need ICE. We don't need cops. We don't need borders. We really don't need any of it.
There's a lot of things that we don't need that we have to deal with, and that's not good.
I haven't sorted out.
Like the Supreme Court, where we're going to have 2 guys who went to Georgetown Prep on the Supreme Court.
Right. So that's
but at least we don't have crazy lady Amy Barrett. Because we do not need a Notre Dame law grad on the Supreme Court. Just fucking tell you.
I was already freaking out last week when it was clear that she was a finalist, and there
were 4 Notre Dame lawyers on that list. It was terrifying.
You know, this Catholic Dominican grad from Mattery was starting to pump out the little like bio articles, and this little local girl makes good.
Local interest story.
The little Catholic lady from New Orleans is going to be a really important person, And
she's going to be the next Cokie Roberts.
I swear to God, I mean, it was like, I was getting up, like my levels were going up and up and up. And then if he had named her the
what
thing.
What levels? Your anxiety
and
levels?
Instead it's a white guy named Brett. So, that's who's going to take my, basically all my healthcare rights away from me. It's a white guy named Brett. Brett!
It's fine. You have to choose the form of the destructor, right? Even, it might as well be Brett.
This formless, gormless thumb of a man named Brett.
But he's like you were saying, he's in the club. He's a Yalie, and
Notre Dame's so bummed too. They're like, man, we were so close.
You saw that that one of the first things that got published this week was well, here's the liberal case for Brett Kavanaugh.
Oh, it dropped. Like 5 minutes after Trump's announcement.
Yeah, and it's like 50,000 words.
They already had it ready.
Sure, and it's all about
because the New York Times is trash.
It's all about people being in the club because it's written by someone else who is also in the club. It
was written by another Yale professor or something.
Right,
ridiculous.
And that's all that matters to these people. This is what getting back to the Cedric stuff and like everyone. They're just in the. They're in the success club, and once you're in the success club, all that matters is that it's one of us. The other thing that was pumped out a couple minutes after the nomination or after the name was released was an advocate, our opinions advocate piece. It was like
give Kavanaugh a fair shake.
Give him a fair shake. No, confirm him. He has to be confirmed because that's the Senate's job is to be civil and to confirm the president's choice and not freak out. Like that's literally what it says. It was like the traditions of the Senate are to be, just to have some dignity about yourself and don't freak out. Just confirm him.
Yeah,
it'll be good. It'll be good for the country if you don't.
That's why Harriet Miers and Robert Bork are on the Supreme Court right now.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly right. Well, I guess they would say that those were bad things that the Senate did. This is bad Senate. Good Senate is, just
that
shut up.
That would be fine if they hadn't pulled that bullshit with Obama near the end.
Right, so it's
I could see, like, okay, well, y'all gave us this and we gave you that. But then they were complete dicks about Obama's nomination, so fuck it.
Totally, they broke all the rules. Yeah. They said, fuck it.
They weren't civil.
But it's 100% a con. It's fine when the right people break all the rules. But if you whine too much about them breaking the rules, then you're breaking the rules. That's bad. So that's why they don't have any legitimacy. Like when you get these buttoned down opinions from the very serious people writing, the opinions in the Advocate or in the New York Times, they're not setting the standard for what is wisdom. they're just selling you bullshit, and they're setting up Mitch McConnell to win every time. And it's
part of an ideological project that's been in motion for 30 years.
Yep.
And you're talking about neoliberals and Republicans at this point?
Oh,
you're talking about the whole...
Yeah, the whole thing, the whole edifice. It's just, the ogres can get away with being ogres, but everyone else has to just kind of, you have to elect Democrats so that Democrats will cut Social Security so that Trump doesn't cut Social Security. Mm-hmm. It's like, what is the difference?
Compromise so that, hey, we allowed you to keep this benefit and that benefit.
But you don't keep, you lose either way.
Yeah.
But as long as you don't complain about what they're doing too loudly.
Yeah, we got to elect Democrats in Louisiana because otherwise they're going to, take away all your abortion rights. So we got to elect pro-life Democrats who don't give a single fuck about your abortion rights.
Right. So
it doesn't make any sense at all.
That's the other scam they're running already. Not just in Louisiana, but also in John Tester and Heidi Heitkamp.
Oh yeah,
and
Joe Donnelly in Indiana,
Joe Manchin. They all have to vote for Kavanaugh because we need to keep them in the Senate. Why do we need to keep them in the Senate? Oh, because they need to protect your what? They're voting for the guy who's going to take away your abortion rights. Like, what is the point?
And also, like, if they vote for him, it's not going to make the people like them more. Like, who's going to be like, oh, well, if you voted against Kavanaugh, I would not vote for him, but because he did, I'm going to, that's not a real person who thinks that way.
Right.
They're never going to like you, so just stand for something.
Right.
It's just disgusting.
And I know
they don't believe in anything.
And you mentioned Louisiana, and I think that you're talking about this other thing that we read this week. I think it was Mark Ballard reporting on the state Democrats' strategy for the next year when they have to all run for the legislature.
Oh, I haven't read this, but
so they're already.
I'm sure it's just demoralizing.
They're already talking about how they need to. They've got some conservative Democrats who, they're running on the fact that they personally are liked, in their district.
Great.
And they don't want to get too bogged down in all the things. They want to make sure we're anti-abortion, we're Christian, blah 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 blah, and that's going to keep the Democratic Party. And I think the way they said it was, we aren't going to lose as many seats as we could lose.
Give me a fucking break.
And I don't know where they're going. Like, what is the point?
There is no point.
And they're
so scared.
I think that in it's their brand. It's their brand to be the only people you can go to.
Yeah.
Like they make all of their money and their living off of being the hapless, pointless opposition party, and they're fine with whatever happens.
If they ever actually won, and I think like when John Bell actually won, it was like the dog that finally caught its tail. It's like, how the fuck am I actually going to do this now? They don't ever have a vision. They don't ever have a platform even of like what they want to do. It's all just platitudes that don't add up to anything. And so then when they actually have to govern, it's like, well, they're like totally lost. Well, they don't know how to be on the offensive.
It's been a weird first term for John Bell, and it's because he's been in fighting the fight over the fiscal situation. But I think that you're right, and I would argue that he hasn't been fighting it the correct way, because I don't know that he could ever win it, because they were always going to make him end up with what we ended up with. Yeah. He was never going to get to like real tax reform. He was never going to get to anything other than these sales tax renewals.
No, but because they were, well, the other thing is that him and Ilario and some of these other people are so like deeply invested in this concept of the Louisiana legislature that's like not tainted by national Republican Democratic politics, and it's a fiction, and so they're always like, well, we've never had these kind of partisan fights in the Louisiana legislature before. It's total bullshit.
And it's their version of this bipartisan fantasy, right? Yeah. It's not. What are you trying to preserve? Oh, we don't want Washington-style politics to come to Louisiana because that would be bad. How would it be any different?
They've never been able to say.
Yeah. So, we're still chasing the same. We're chasing the same conservative policies, and being dragged in that direction the entire time.
And we're supposed to be so fucking thrilled that we just locked in 10 straight years of budget cuts and said, hey, we're stable now.
Right.
And we did it with sales taxes.
Yeah, they lost. They basically lost.
They lost.
So, congratulations to them. They're going to spend next year. He's going to propose a teacher pay raise that probably won't pass.
Yeah.
And then they're all going to run against him as John Bell Obama from hell, and that's in the future.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Great.
Can we take a break and then come back?
Yeah. The news is bad.
The news is bad.
It's all bad.
It's all bad.
But here we are.
But here we are.
All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to take a break, and then we'll come back and do the other things. So the thing is,
yeah,
okay.
We are doing this from this is the first episode ever. Hogshead Jesus Studios is no more, and we're doing it from my new place that I don't have a name for yet. But we're on the West Bank, right underneath the bridge, right by the water intake, so we get the freshest stuff from the Mississippi River. And right by the levee, right by Mardi Gras World.
This is the good water intake. This isn't the one that...
This is not the one you got to boil water.
Right. Although I think this is the one that the oil spills go to more often. Right?
No, I think that's on the outer bank.
Oh, okay.
It always goes down on y'all's side. There's a guard on that little water intake that sits outside on a little steel chair all the time. I think it's like monitored 24 hours a day. Must be Homeland Security or something like
Probably something like that.
So we're doing it, on Diana Street.
It looks good in here. Varg's moved in. Like he's got. It looks like Varg lives here.
Well,
I'm looking at.
It's a Jackson Square folk art session all up in here.
Right.
Basically.
Who's the Lugaroo? What is that? Where did that come from?
That is by a fellow artist named Josh Duncan, who did also this piece of the man with the flower growing out of his head and the voodoo dolls over there on the other side. And I got it because I was like really into transformations at the time.
Oh, wow.
And I put it there because over the last 4 years I have been going through a transformation. So that is why it's there in prime real estate. Because transformations are difficult. All of them. Puberty, death, childbirth. When an orange tree begins to blossom, it's most likely to die. All those things. Hard.
Do you feel like you've done, like, now that you made the circuit, like, has it felt like coming home? Like, you know, you're back, like, in the part of town you belong in, or do you feel like...
At first, it wore off pretty quick. Then I was like, fuck, I'm on the West Bank again.
All right, this was a pain in the ass.
I hate the bridge, but the whole point was to be here as much as possible. So what I'm going to do is build a shop in the back so I don't have to go over there to work and build art and then take the bike on the ferry the rest of the time. And I read today we have 2 brand new ferries coming and they're catamarans and shit.
Yeah, I saw that.
Nice.
That's going to be awesome.
You think so? Well,
I mean...
Can't get any
it's
worse.
Different. Yeah. Couldn't get any worse.
Yeah. They said something weird. They said that the catamaran boats are different because they don't necessarily have to go to the 2 terminals.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were going to pick up on that.
What does that mean?
But they did say it would help.
They can drop Varg off right there on Diana Street.
Well, I was looking for a scam, like how it was going to be... What was the word in that other article? Featured rider, premium riders.
Yeah, choice riders.
Choice riders. Yeah, I was wondering, like, how does this gonna? I'm sure that was said because of
what he
choice
said,
riders type thing.
Justin Augustine said something about how it can go up and down the river to the other employment centers.
Yeah,
which I don't know what that means either.
When he said that, I kind of backed off a little bit, not all the way, but I was like, okay, well,
employment.
He said he used.
They're going to take people to South Kenner, and then there's going to be a shuttle to the airport.
There's going to be like an app you can use to call the boat, and it just comes to wherever you want.
The app is already installed, and I need to install it. But I'm going to by the next episode, I will have a report on the app.
On your RTA app?
Yeah, I'm going to install.
I got it.
You're going to use the RTA app on your.
But I'm going to use it
on your home Wi-Fi that you said you were never going to get.
Yeah, I finally had to get it because I have art projects I want to work on. So.
Okay.
But I went and stuck it to Cox a little bit and got $30 out of them.
Nice.
So and I encourage all of our readers and anyone who listens, anytime there is our listeners, anyone who listens to the podcast, whenever there's an outage at Cox, call them and get a credit on your account every time, no matter what. Even if it's $1.
Yeah, I mean, you put in, you earn it. Like you put in
they
the
just
hours.
Expect you not to.
Yeah.
Because it's only $1. But if you keep fucking with them and making them do it, who knows? Maybe there'll be a change.
It's kind of like getting a $1,000 bicycle ticket. You know, you don't pay that. You just have to go put up with the bullshit.
Well, you should get your $1.30 back or however much you pay for the internet every month.
Sure.
And besides that, you just take up their time, make it more of a fucking pain in the ass when there is an outage. Even keep track of the outages. Even like get a little group together to say, hey, everybody in this outage area, all of y'all call.
Okay, so like a mass action against Cox.
Yeah, something to do.
A bill strike.
Yes.
Is that what it's called?
Well,
we're all not going to pay our bills. It's
correct.
called a bill strike. But instead of that, it's actually not even a protest. You actually shouldn't have to fucking pay for it.
That's
they
right.
just depend on you not to do it. Anyway,
we should all have free internet.
That
Internet should
true.
be free.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway, so this is the part of the show where we talk about the things that we did.
It's called So-So, Stepping On, Stepping Out.
Okay.
That's because Steppin' Out is a show on WYES that
Still.
talks about the things that are happening in the social life of the community.
They still do that. Have you caught an episode of that recently?
Yeah.
In the upper echelon of the social life, like
Yes.
very rarely.
And so we're stepping on their whole concept. That's the reason that we call it Steppin' On, Steppin' Out, which the acronym is So-So.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we need to explain that every time.
Okay.
All the
Just
other
be clear.
podcasts I listen to, they explain stuff every time. Even though I've listened to them 40, 50 episodes, I still have to hear them do it. And they do it almost exactly the same every time. It's what pro podcasts do.
Okay. Well, if anybody ever starts sending us money in the Patreon, we'll call ourselves pros, and we'll start doing that. We'll repeat ourselves over and over.
We have to repeat ourselves over and
yeah.
over again for people to give us the money.
Oh, okay.
Go into Patreon.
Do the work
yeah,
first.
that's true.
Right.
I think right now our listeners are kind of on a bill strike against us.
They are.
So-
Because we haven't recorded it.
Right. So we have to kind of do.
Well, one of the
Do the
reasons
work.
we didn't record was I was on a vacation. So should I talk about
Yeah,
that?
go for it.
To the land of enchantment.
Yeah, I went to the desert. I went to New Mexico. Chappaqua, the woods. After I lost the DSA election, I went to go wander the woods.
Like Hillary
by which I
Clinton.
mean the desert.
Right.
In my white pantsuit, all alone.
Yeah. That's
Where people would come up to me and say, and they would kneel at my feet and say,
nothing but respect for my president.
say, why didn't you go to Wisconsin? And I would say, well, because I wasn't running on anything. Anyway, I went to New Mexico. Pat and I went to New Mexico. We were there for like a week, and it was so great. I had such a wonderful time. We went to Albuquerque and Santa Fe, and of those two, Santa Fe was beautiful, but it's very bougie. Albuquerque is less beautiful, but still great, and decidedly like middle class, blue collar.
Yeah, I mean Santa Fe is like hippie TM, right? Like it's like.
I didn't even see that many hippies. It just felt like a place for rich Californians to buy real estate.
Oh, definitely hippie TM.
It felt like Santa Fe felt like a place where nobody actually worked. They just owned things.
New Orleans is going to be like that one day.
Mm-hmm.
It was really... I mean, it was beautiful and we had a good time, but it was weird. Albuquerque was great. I saw so many cool birds. We went birding in a national wildlife refuge about an hour and a half south of Albuquerque called Bosque del Apache. And even though it was the late June and the middle of the day, there's still a lot of good stuff. And the food was incredible.
Hell yeah.
We ate like New Mexico food almost every single meal. So like basically just like enchiladas covered in red and green chili.
They are the baddest.
Oh my
enchiladas.
God. Their enchiladas were insane.
Do I remember this correctly? Did we talk about this on the show last time? Because you were going to order it as the Christmas and
Yeah.
and so
And then I texted y'all while I was gone with the
Okay.
receipt that showed that it said Christmas.
so
and you
it
were
was
like,
okay.
And you asked me, did you order it that way? And I said, no, she corrected me. And then that's how it showed up on the receipt.
So you tried not to be a douchebag.
Yeah,
and then
'cause
they said no, you are supposed to be.
It felt wrong.
Yeah.
And she was like, Christmas enchiladas with onions. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I guess that's what we're doing now.
That might have been a little New Orleans in you. Like, that you knew that all the things that they say they do here are things that nobody does here. And you rolled into New Mexico kind of with that attitude.
Yeah.
And it was like...
That's how you should do. That's how you should do anywhere you go.
Well, you got it honest.
Yeah.
She corrected.
There has to be like somebody needs to like write the anti-tourism rules. Like.
But then they instantly
how to be a person.
become...
Yeah, how to not be an asshole wherever
How to
you
be
go.
a person in the world.
Yeah.
And not treat the people that are living there like they're an extra in your vacation.
Right.
Yeah. So the food was great. We ate. We had one bad meal because I'm never doing this again. By the way, we went to a brew pub. And I thought, oh, cool, they'll have beers, and then they'll also have food, and they'll both be good. And it turns out, like, it never works. Don't ever go to fucking brew pubs. Because their food is not going to be good. And the beers are probably not going to be that great either. So just don't ever go.
Pick a side, brew pubs.
Exactly.
You do one or the other.
Because later on we went to a brewery, and the beer
what you're thinking
that
of
didn't
is
have food, and the beers were awesome.
Gastropub, I think, is what you're thinking of. It's the one you want to pick a side on. A brew pub is the same thing. You don't pick a side on there; they're both the same thing. Gastropub.
What is it? What is the difference? What is?
Well, I don't even know what a brew pub is. That's one I know what it is, and the other one I don't know.
Okay, well, whatever.
It's a gastropub. Okay.
Whatever.
Pick a side, gastropub.
Yeah, I never fucking doing that again.
Sorry, I got the terminology.
It was bad, but then we found this restaurant that, like, it's one of the most, like, recommended places in Albuquerque, as it turns out. It's right across from the University of New Mexico. It's called Frontier, and it is like this multi-room institution place that's been around since the 70s, and it's got, like, all these, like the art is all kind of like this, like, it's very close together, and it's all pictures of, like, John Wayne and stuff, and, like, paint by numbers stuff up all on the walls, and the booths are, like, you know, that old, like, lacquer, and, like, just, it looks like it's been there forever, and it was busy all the time, but not too busy, and it was also the kind of place where you could hang out for a long time, like, students were there, like, doing their studying and stuff, and it was just filled with normal people, and I was like, okay, this is my place.
Sounds awesome.
And you order at the counter, and then you sit down, and then they call you, there's, like...
They got rules.
As soon as he says you order at the counter, I was like, whoa, hold on.
You order at the counter, and then they call your number, and then you pick up your food. It's very simple.
Okay.
If I would need someone to do that for me while I went and sat at the table.
So what was this place called?
It was called Frontier Restaurant.
Okay.
After our bad experience at the brew pub, we went to Frontier for lunch, and we were like, oh, fuck, we should have ate here last night. And then later on, after we went to the brewery, we were like, I'm kind of hungry again.
So you went back there?
And they're open till 1 a.m, so we went back for a late night enchiladas. And
That's what's up.
And I was like, Pat, like, this feels kind of weird, like, going to the same place again, like, in the same day. And
it's fine.
And he was like, think of it like eating leftovers, but fresh. And I was like, yeah, all right, I'm down. It was great. Albuquerque was awesome. In Santa Fe, we went to this place called Meow Wolf, which was a huge, like, art installation, not a museum, but like an interactive place that's built by, like, hundreds of artists, and you, like, walk through it, and it's also a story, but you don't really have to, like, surreal, and I don't even know really how to describe it, but it was great. And then we had more New Mexican food, and also in Santa Fe we stayed at a spa, and it was a Japanese style spa in the mountains.
Whoa!
Where you, like, take baths all the time.
I was gonna say, you were required to do spa things, because that's kind of a minus.
We did some spa things.
Okay.
And it was not a minus; it was a definite plus. But they have these, like, baths, so you can, like, do all these baths.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was... I'm a bath person, and I don't have a bathtub in my apartment, and haven't for the 6 years that I've lived there.
Jesus!
And, yeah, it's rough. So we...
We could rig you up something outside, I bet.
Outdoor bathtub?
Talk to me after the show.
Okay.
No, we have to buy a house. But anyway, this spa was awesome. It was a Japanese spa with baths, like hot baths, and, like, so it would be like a hot 105-degree bath, and then there'd be a cold plunge next to it that'd be like 55 degrees, so you can go back and forth.
Whoa.
Here's the other thing, though, it was hot as fuck in New Mexico, but it's not. It's not humid at all. And so I did not believe that thing about the, it's a dry heat, or it's not the heat, it's the humidity. But that shit is real. Like, it would be like 90 something, 103 or whatever, and I'd be like, yeah, it's hot, but like, I'm sweating, and then the wind blows, and then it evaporates, and I cool off. Like, It was, like, it made me think, like, oh, this is how it's supposed to work. This is how it feels when, like, your body can function in a hot environment.
It lacks the oppressive part of the oppressive heat.
Yeah.
It's just heat. It's not oppressive heat.
And then
so you're kind of cheating, basically.
And then at night it would
really
cool
doing
off. It would it would get down in the 70s or 60s or even like the upper 50s.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was great. It's like, I could totally do this. This is totally reasonable.
I feel like anytime Allie goes on vacation anywhere, like a big highlight of it is like how the weather doesn't suck.
Yes!
Well,
as opposed to coming home when it does. So, yeah.
It does suck here.
It does suck. That is the worst part
but
about living
here. But it's like a key part of every one of your
It's the worst part about living
travels.
here.
Yeah.
It's a weather vacation.
Yeah.
It's a vacation from...
So on Thursday, I'm going up to Michigan, and I'm like very excited for real summer weather. So yeah, that's a
to us, this is real summer weather.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you have to suffer. That's like, you're not really doing the sacrament of summertime.
It would be nice
correctly
if you didn't have
if
to
you
suffer for 6 months.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like you've completed that part of your card.
Unless you suffer for 6 months.
Yes. Yeah, the self-flagellation.
It doesn't have to be that way.
No, it doesn't.
It's not like that for a lot of people.
And I believe I've said on the show before that I enjoyed our long, cool spring to the fullest extent that I possibly could. But
there was a long, cool spring?
This year.
Yeah, this year.
He's already forgotten it.
Oh, you mean it started early? Because I remember summer started in like early May. So, do you mean that?
No, it stayed cooler longer this year.
March through May.
He doesn't remember.
March through May was really
it did
nice.
not.
Yeah, see?
No, I work outside.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and like present my authority on this. I work outside.
Okay.
It started fucking early.
We're going to have to...
And there was a long, cool spring. Because there wasn't a fucking winter.
We're going to have to do a fact check on the weather this year.
You don't have to. My colloquial wisdom.
We definitely had a winter. Remember in January when everyone's heating bills were like $600?
That was like 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks where it froze, and then fuck everything else after that. It doesn't matter. We don't have to talk about it.
But
anyway,
we had a 2 week winter, an Indian winter.
New Mexico was great. That's really all. Everything else I've been doing is just socialism related. That's all I ever do.
So is social. It's about going out and meeting people.
Yeah, that's definitely the kind of socialism.
Oh,
putting the social in socialism.
That's a bumper sticker.
I go to a lot of meetings. It's good though. It prevents you from. It like helps counter the alienation that we all feel from being part of this capitalist hellscape.
Oh yeah,
which plots everyone against
counter
each
the
other
alienation.
all the time.
No, I appreciate your notes on New Mexico, especially the Albuquerque stuff. So I have like Frontier. I'm going to remember that one because I have a T-shirt that says University of New Mexico on it, and I have never been to New Mexico, and I have no connection to it. But it's one of my favorite T-shirts, and whenever I'm out, people always ask me like, facts about what it's like there. So I for a while I try to collect them, and I'll tell them where is the university located. Well, I know that and they're the Lobos, and
is Bob Davies still their coach?
I see that I'm already failing.
All right,
but like
the New Mexico Lobos,
the enchilada place. Now I know where the good enchiladas are. Yep. So anything else you remember, just shoot that my way, and I'll be able to.
I've never seen you wear this shirt.
I'll wear it next time.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
Like we're both your close friends, and it's one of your favorite shirts.
It's a black.
I've never
t-shirt.
seen you wear it.
It's a black T-shirt. So I'm often wearing other black T-shirts, so you may not have noticed.
It could be on right now, but
it's not.
You've got this,
but it's similar to a lot of my other shirts. So
I would picture a New Mexico shirt to be orange or yellow or blue for the sky there, but no.
Yeah, I didn't buy a shirt. Well, I bought a tank top at the brewery. because I'm in this like muscle shirt tank top phase. So
well, I think you're showing off your tattoo. That's what you're doing.
Well, I do like to take it out, in the summertime.
That's what's up.
That's what
But also,
for.
it's too hot to wear clothes.
The thing about New Mexico also is that I love is that even though everyone speaks almost New Mexico and Arizona in the same sentence, and they're so geographically alike, they're so politically different.
Oh, they're totally different.
Like one of them was just like they have to have a feud. Huh?
I would never live in Arizona if you paid me, and I would absolutely go live in New Mexico.
It's strange.
No question.
It's strange. They're so different. But
the
so
other
alike.
thing that was reassuring about it was that, like, I think sometimes maybe east of the Mississippi River, east of the Rockies, like sometimes it feels like, like every town is the same. We've got the same Applebee's and the same church and the same shitty strip mall and all that, and even the landscape doesn't differentiate all that much. And you go to a place like the Southwest, and it's like you feel immediately like, wow, like our country is enormous.
It's too damn big.
It's huge.
It's too big. I hate having to fly all the way out there or go anywhere. It's too far. Just make
the drive is all right.
Make the country smaller. I mean, I really think we need to. I mean, I don't mean like have fewer places in it. Just bring them closer together somehow.
Oh, just tie up the loose ends.
Yeah, you have to do like. There's got to be some pulleys or something.
So we got an exit here. We got a fucking exit here on I-10 that's 60 miles away from this other exit right here. We need to make this like 30 miles.
Yeah.
Can we do that? All right, let's tie that in.
Yeah.
Trim the ends.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, what are y'all?
Wormholes.
Wormholes. Elon Musk will fix it, I think. Yeah. It'll be one of those things. Yeah, so that's Alli's,
That's my report. You can look at my eBird list from New Mexico if you'd like to see the birds that I saw.
Oh, well, how do we do that?
I don't know. Just ask me about it.
Well,
hey everybody, check out my, never mind.
It's for the readers.
Do you really want to look at my eBird profile?
Well, you just said it, and I thought it might be, if we're going to try and get Patreon deposits or donations.
Yeah, you got to.
It might be then follow Alli's eBird list. Could be something that Tim and them could fucking do.
We're trying to break into that birder market, y'all. So, like, if y'all want to we're really popular with the ornithologists.
We could.
We're trying to hit that thing.
Is that what you call a birder?
I think.
That's
better
it's
than
a
birder.
bird scientist.
Yes.
An ornithologist.
I just made
amateur one.
It's not a real word. Anyway.
Okay, so what did I do? I do want to make a short comment on the 4th of July. I went to a pool party with a bunch of people from the Bayou. Got all fucked up. It wasn't in the Bayou. It was in New Orleans. But I ate crabs for the first time. Boiled crabs for the first time.
Wait,
the first time ever?
For the first time.
You've never had them before?
No.
What?
What do you...
No. Well, the reason why is because I always just saw people doing it and said, it seems like too much fun.
Oh, he didn't understand the rules.
Well, no, I understood. I didn't know how to do it, but I also...
Yeah, it was a
Too
thing.
much work for too little meat.
Too much work for too little meat.
Yeah.
Mm.
And now I decided, well, fuck it, I'm going to do it. They're here, they're plentiful, whatever. And it's too much work for too much meat. I mean, too much work for too little meat.
Nah, it's not true.
No, it is true.
No,
it's not like I haven't done it, Jeff.
I know. I know what you're saying.
Like,
but it's one of those things that if you're experienced at picking them, which I would consider myself a.
you like the fat females?
Well, don't we all? I would consider myself a bit of a and I'm not really a pro at it. I'm like intermediate skill level, and I've been doing it my whole life. But there are people, I'm thinking particularly of Mankles, who is a pro at picking crabs and can just like pick like 3 crabs in like 5 minutes or something, and just get all the meat. Just like anyway, what I'm saying is that it's not
the meat is not ever
it's
readily...
not too much work for too little meat. It's just that your skill needs to improve.
You have to take it, break it apart.
Mm-hmm.
You can't eat a certain part of it. It looks like it's pretty much edible. The lungs, which is weird because I don't think that animals who live underwater have lungs, but whatever.
They're gills.
I'm
they
sure
call them the dead men.
The dead men.
That's what they're called
by people from
it's
around
a
here.
colloquialism, yes.
Why do they call them that?
If you eat them, you die. But that's not really true. But they call them that anyway.
Look it up. Well, the readers will look that up. Then you have to just suck the meat out, and maybe you get a little flavor from the boil for that. And then you get that from the body of it, and then you got to bust up, and you destroy the meat when you're trying to bust up the claws.
Yeah.
And you fuck the meat all up there.
You got to get some technique.
No, I don't. I can just not eat fucking crabs.
That's true.
And then I saw some
good
fucking... I got a female, and there was some roe in there, and they're like, yeah, that's the good shit. And I ate it, and I was like, yeah, that is the good shit. That's true. There's about a teaspoonful of it. And there's about a tablespoonful of meat.
I'm just thrown that this is your first
Well, if I had
hands-on
eaten
experience
some
with this
before, it was insignificant enough to form a memory for me.
Okay.
Maybe I have, but whatever.
All right. We'll have a crab boil.
No, that's all right.
No, we'll do it.
No, it really creates.
I'm interested.
Yeah.
I would like to eat crabs.
Have you eaten them before?
Of course.
And you will do it again.
Yeah.
I'm getting better at doing it. I've kind of been.
It seems like also the waste that it produced, the bio waste that it would produce, and the smell that would come 2 to 3 days afterward would be a huge pain in the ass. Also.
If you go to Grand Isle State Park, the campground is, between this, lagoon and the Gulf. And they tell you, don't put your seafood waste in the trash. Put it in the lagoon. Because it contribute, animals
Make
eat
a
that.
reef or something? Okay,
animals eat it, and they need that calcium and stuff to help them reform their shells.
Maybe
and all that good
after
stuff.
our boil, we'll all take a trip down to fucking Grand Isle and dump on. Fuck that. That doesn't happen. It's the fucking... It ends up in your trash can and it ends up stinking to high heaven worse than crawfish. And crawfish, you at least get, for the amount of work you do, so much meat. What I'm saying is, fuck crabs. All right? I also went to see Hall & Oates.
Okay.
Now, this was going to be great, okay?
I saw them at Jazz Fest a few years ago.
I would have rather have seen
Were you
them.
with us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you were there too.
I saw that.
She's a rich girl, because she's gone too far.
Great show.
It don't matter anyway.
It was a big joke beforehand, and it was kind of a what the fuck moment when they announced the show that the band, The Train, was opening up for them. Okay?
Wow,
So,
this is a joke.
do you know The Train? Drops of Jupiter?
Oh, that train.
Train.
Oh,
Train.
he's calling him the train. I thought it was something else. I thought it was something.
Just train.
Okay,
That's the joke.
All right.
I was making the joke.
the train.
I know it's Train, but I
Okay.
was calling him The Train the whole time.
So
Because
you confused me.
everybody's like, what the fuck is up with Train opening up for Hall & Oates? Everybody.
That's hilarious.
Nobody was there for Train, and it hurt. It hurt the
Ooh.
sales. So the day of, first of all, the tickets got low enough to be like $17.
Oh, I didn't even know it was happening
Well,
until you were there.
Was it at Lakefront Arena?
no, it was so awesome if it would have been. It was at the Smoothie King Center. And
It
I
should have
think
been that's a Lakefront Arena show if I've ever
Oh
heard
my
one.
god!
it absolutely is. And I think the fact that the Train was opening up for him hurt the ticket sales because they dropped down to about $17.
Yikes!
So Jeremy Abair went to the box office and got him and saved a bunch of money by doing that. So he and I and our business partner Butch went, and the whole day as we were getting hyped, I would walk out in front of the gallery and be like, "Hey, y'all, about to hit the train! Drops of Jupiter! Come on!"
And nobody knew what you were talking about.
Right. Everybody was just looking at me like I didn't know what the fuck I was saying.
Yeah.
So we get there, and I do this the entire time. Finna hit Train, y'all! Everyone is there to see Hall & Oates. Everyone fucking hates Train, right? No one's there to see him.
So you're representing for Train.
No, I'm just being a fucking dick.
Right. Also that.
Live trolling. I was live trolling. So...
You know what I thought when I was driving over here and I crossed under the bridge and I realized how close you live to under the bridge Like, you basically are living under the bridge, and you can be the troll under the bridge now.
I can. That motherfucker made some money, though. You know, he charged.
Oh, yeah. That's the whole point.
You know, them 3 billy goats got it.
It's a good gig if you can get it.
And you could live... What you think is going to be a disaster for you by going and living under the bridge, I do every day now. I live under the bridge.
Yeah.
It's not some horrible thing.
You have to... I don't know if I'm equipped. Well, anyway.
So we go in there, and I'm legitimately wanting to see Drops of Jupiter, the last song that they do. Just because, fuck it, it's a big, stupid rock show, and I'm going to get my fucking $17 worth. Well, yeah. Even if I have to watch the train, right? It's part of the show, and I'm going to get the most value.
It's like somebody's grandma.
What's better, Train playing Drops of Jupiter while opening for Hall & Oates, or the Smoky Mary float coming down the street in the Orpheus Parade? Hands down, Smoky Mary is
if you can
so
get,
much better.
The best thing is both. So I paid for the ticket. So I run in there. Like, as we're coming in, like, I hear them starting to sing Drops of Jupiter. I'm like, oh shit, y'all, I can't get my beer yet. So I run in there.
In that atmosphere. Drops of Jupiter.
So I'm doing that too to everybody as I'm walking up. I'm not saying anything, but
Tell me.
And seeing if anyone knows.
Venus blow your mind.
I bust up in there, and everyone's kind of going in there, and the ushers aren't even fucking with nobody. Mm-hmm. They're just like, oh, okay, it's the hit. They're going to fucking do it. We run in there, and the whole fucking arena is into it. They've, like, dropped their...
Sure, it's the one song that they know.
Yeah, it's the one song they know, so they're into it. But, for whatever reason, I seem to be the only motherfucker who pulls out his phone and puts the flashlight on and waves it in the air. Nobody else is doing it. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Don't y'all know a ballad is playing? You have to do this. Y'all know this?
You're instructing everyone on the etiquette.
I guess everyone does it with their phone now instead of their lighter.
Instead of the lighter, you put your flashlight on.
Sure,
I'm the only one doing it.
Yeah.
Anyways, I finished up. All is good. We go outside, we get some drinks, we go up to our seats where they're going to be. As we're going up there, Hall & Oates comes on, Maneater plays. First song. The lights go down.
Pretty good.
The lights go down red, and I'm not even at my seat yet, so I just kind of walk out, onto a balcony. I'm there. There's all kinds of fucking women there, and they're feeling Maneater. They're just like, yeah.
Okay.
This is my song. This is my song, right?
Wow.
And one of them, the one next to me, is getting a little untoward with me.
Damn.
She's grabbing me. She's looking at me. She's asking me my name and everything. And I'm thinking, this is a man-eater. I need to be real careful, right? And she leaves. I'm like, oh, I dodged that bullet. But she comes back, and then she's still up on me and everything. And I'm like, uh-oh. Whoa, here she comes. So
you are ridiculous.
Watch out now.
She's gonna chew me up. She's gonna fucking chew me up, and I don't want none.
This is the corniest way a person can go about.
Haven't we talked about this song
It wasn't
on this
corny.
show before?
Probably.
Because we watched the music video, right?
Did we?
Like
with the panther in it?
Yeah.
Well, all the women were panthers when this song was on. Like, you could look all the way through it, and all of them were like, yeah. So, my particular man-eater, her partners came up next to her, and she was talking to them, and I just fucking, like any prey would do when the predator is distracted. I just saw my exit and fucking bounced right out of there.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
Freedom!
The flight or fight response.
Right.
Yeah.
I flight.
Sure.
I flighted.
That's the appropriate.
I fled. We get up to our seats, and I'm feeling it now. I'm getting it. I've taken the proper amount of drinks, and I'm that guy who's standing in the aisle where everyone else is like kind of seated and just watching the show. I'm the dude that's just standing up in his seat and like grooving to the shit. Plays Rich Girl, plays
they did the hits.
Everything will yeah, and I'm feeling it so hard, and I'm just like getting beer man to give me more beers, and I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. This is a great show. Daryl Hall's voice, solid. Still good after all these years. Beautiful. He even lets Oates sing a song, which I thought was very kind of him. You know, he broke Oates off a bone. Oates also has a goatee now, which I was a little disappointed in.
Not the stash.
Yeah, that devalued the price. I think. I don't want to see Oates with a goatee. Like Oates is catching up to the '90s finally. You know, he was in the '80s all those years, and now he's in the '90s. So I'm feeling it, and I'm at peak feeling it. And fucking Hall goes, "Hey y'all, man, we got a very special guest to bring out tonight." And I'm like, sweet, maybe a little local legend, man. He's a soul singer. Everybody likes him. We gonna bring him out. You saw him earlier. And as soon as he said you saw him earlier, I was like, ugh.
It's the lead singer from Train.
It's the lead singer from Train.
Hey!
And I'm like,
hey, who's ready for more Train?
Nobody. Right? Nobody. So the air kind of goes out of the room, and I'm like, all right, well, fuck this, man.
Tough crowd.
No problem. I'll just bounce on out. I'm like, I'm going to get me a cocktail for this, because these beers are not going to do this. So I go down to the bar, and the guy goes, sorry, man, not serving concessions no more. We're shutting down. I was like, oh, okay.
What,
so
it's like the fourth quarter of an NFL game
it's
or
like
something?
the fourth quarter of the NFL game. So I was like, I'll just go down here. He's like, no, man, it's arena wide, man. We're not serving anymore.
They cut you off when Train comes out.
They cut us off. Like, the crowd did not need that. Like, we had already been let down a little bit by the lead singer of Train, Jimmy, whatever the fuck his name is. I don't even know his name. So I'm like, I can't believe this. So I go up there and I talk to them, my partners, and they're like, yeah, man, it's fucked up. Ugh. And they are out of it. They were a little dejected just from their station in life anyways. So, and then the whole point of the show was like, so for us three to go out and have a good fucking time and lift them up. And then that shit fucking happens.
There's background
right?
to people. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this is a lot of burden to put on a Hall & Oates concert.
I don't think so. I think they could fucking... They were doing it for me.
This is a $17 ticket.
So...
Man.
I go out there, and once Train... And he goes on, and Train, the lead singer of Train. And Oates, you can just see, as the lead singer of Train is out there, Hall's new fucking, best boy and stuff. Oates just kind of fades off to the background, and you can just barely even see him back there. He's just like, all right, well... He
needed a break.
Hall's new boy. No, I think it's just like Hall's like, Oates, man, buddy, you're out now, man. This is my new guy, the lead singer of Train. So, I mean, poor Oates. So, the show, they don't play Every Time You Go Away, which is also what I was listening to. The show does not recover. Then afterwards...
That's not a Hall & Oates song. What?
Every Time You Go Away?
No.
You take a piece of me.
That's not Hall & Oates.
With you.
Excuse me. It is a Hall & Oates song.
Seriously?
Maybe y'all motherfuckers might know that Englishman's version, Paul Young, but it was a Hall & Oates version first, and they did it way fucking better. So yeah, they probably didn't play it because motherfuckers like you don't know that it's their fucking song.
Wow, yeah. Written and composed by Daryl Hall.
I had no idea.
And they do a far superior version. Listen to it sometime.
Okay.
So I go outside, and I'm so pissed off because you know how I get when there's fucking prohibitions on alcohol.
Yeah, well, I mean, how do you cut people off at a concert? I'm never going to a fucking show at the arena. That's bullshit.
I probably will sneak booze in if I'm going to go.
You have to.
Yeah, it's like outlawing abortion or something. Mm. You're not making booze fucking. You're not outlawing booze. You're fucking making booze illegal. So what happened then is maybe it was because of maybe your girl had her victory around then. I went up to the fucking concessions people and I was like, "Do y'all have meetings with management?" And they were like, "No." I was like, "Do y'all have meetings with each other?" And they were like, "No." I was like, "Y'all should." Because when they cut y'all off, they're costing you fucking tips. You could work a little bit longer. I was about to organize a fucking labor group inspired by Alli, right there amongst the concession workers of the fucking Smoothie King Center.
Oh my god.
I mean, the whole fucking show just died after that.
They should have just played Maneater again.
That's another thing. They should have played that motherfucker last
They
because
just play it 7
Butch
times.
and Jeremy,
Right.
who were single at the time, saw the reaction in the crowd.
So
And they were hoping that some man-eaters would be rolling out after the show, hungry.
So they weren't like identifying these individuals earlier and taking notes. They just kind of
No, it was a little too early, too soon. You know?
nobody was fired up yet.
No, but if you end a show with man-eater, then you're just putting a bunch of man-eaters right out there on the street, hungry.
So this is a show that started off pretty good and then kind of like you would say the train went off the rails toward the end. Is that okay?
Yeah, it jumped the tracks.
Yeah. So
Just by having him there. I did not hear Hey Soul Sister, which is apparently their most annoying song, but we missed that one.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry it didn't work out for the best.
Yeah. I mean, I can scratch him off my list. And the dude's voice is still very, very good.
Well, that's good.
He still looks all cooked out. But,
We saw him at Jazz Fest a couple years ago, and it was like, it was like seeing somebody at Jazz Fest. Like you're standing in the hut, and you're going, "Oh, that's that."
Sure is Daryl Hall.
Especially, was it Accurate Stage?
No, it
No,
was
Chantilly stage.
Uh-huh.
Almost as bad.
We couldn't even really see. We saw from the side. We saw like a couple songs, and I was like, well,
Yeah.
The experience...
apparently a lot of people really wanted to see Hall & Oates.
Yeah. Accurate Stage experience is like conservatives, Chantilly, neoliberals. It's like you're getting the same experience, just a little bit lighter, but still just as... You're getting just as fucked.
Okay. Yeah, I see it.
You know what I'm saying?
I see it.
Yeah.
We want a more Congo Square Fidodo. Fidodo's kind of the libertarians, I guess, huh? Y'all get back. Let's put it to the readers.
Okay.
What political...
What is the
group
political alignment of the Jazz
Yeah, what's
Fest?
the alignment chart?
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, I like what you're thinking there. I think there's some
Gospel
validity.
10.
There's some
I'm
validity
looking
in
to
that.
see what y'all say.
All right.
The
What
gospel 10.
other so-sos do we have?
We all probably watched the World Cup, huh?
We talked about it last time, but yeah, we've been watching the World Cup. You've been watching World Cup?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we talked about it last time.
A little bit. It was
Shit has happened,
It's
though.
been a good World Cup. It's been today. It's down to the 4 European colonizer nations.
Wait, did Croatia colonize?
Well, no, not Croatia, but they're sufficiently racist there too. So
Extremely.
yeah.
Plus, they really don't want the Bosnians to go to the beach. Have you ever looked at Croatia on a map? They have the whole beach. Except one tiny little stretch for
That is
Bosnia.
some serious white people shit right there.
It's like Croatia's shaped like a C, so that they can cover the whole beach. Just wanted to point that out.
Well, I hope they don't win, only because now that France has won, I really want to see England versus France. That's got a real good, such a backstory. Like a backstory that, we can't even go into. Or I wanted to see Croatia versus Belgium, 2 teams who had never won it before, never even been there before.
And that's why I could not, as a Dutch person, I'm happy to root for Belgium through the beginning stages of the tournament. But the thought of Belgium actually winning the fucking World Cup turns my stomach.
Well, they were...
absolutely not.
They were
not
pretty
acceptable.
studly, but...
I did watch the game today. We had it in the background during a couple of our meetings at work. And it was really good. France is awesome.
They are.
The thing about that game
for France.
was those teams were excellent the whole tournament, and the game between them was really kind of shitty. I thought it was just because they're so evenly matched, and especially toward the end where France was obviously trying to run the clock out the whole time. There was a lot of flopping and then starting bullshit to kind of keep people. It was really kind of petered out.
The best game I saw so far was Croatia-Russia. That was amazing.
Yeah, that one
that one was good.
And the one the Colombian and England game where they hated each other so much.
I didn't see that one.
That one was very good too.
That was funny.
But
as hell.
neither of those were the best game. The best game was fucking Japan and Belgium, because Japan fucking went up 2. Belgium looked like they were coming back, and then I'm like, oh, whatever, it's going to go into fucking extra time.
Mm-hmm.
And then literally in the last few seconds, just that fucking knife in the heart.
Yeah, that was
It broke my heart.
Plenty of time left game.
Yeah, it was
very.
like I thought Belgium was definitely done.
Yeah.
But that it ended so quickly and with such excitement, I was just like, "Oh man, I'm so glad I watched this."
Sports.
So yeah,
The thing about soccer is it's very calming, just to watch it, and then you get this burst, and then calm,
Yeah.
calm, burst. It's a unique.
I enjoy years when there's a World Cup in the summertime because this is kind of a dead sports time. Even though there's baseball, but there's not really a lot of local baseball that anybody cares about.
And baseball sucks.
Yeah,
I don't
fuck
know,
baseball.
whatever. But the NBA is over with. It's not really time for football. This kind of gets us through that hole in the calendar where there's
Every
something to
4
look
years
at.
it does.
Yeah, it's nice. The next time they do it, though, they're going to go to Qatar, I guess, and
Qatar.
they have to play the World Cup in the fall
Yeah, in the winter.
or the winter.
Yeah.
So we won't have
It's going to be terrible.
soccer in the summer that time.
But
And
the
That's a
whole
complete-
format for the World Cup and international competition is going to change by then too. Like I think they're going to have like more teams in the. It's not
Group
just going to be
stages?
32 teams. It's going to be like more teams, and like they're going to change the whole format
So this is really the last World
Yeah.
Cup as
as we know it.
It's
All right.
the end of the World Cup as we.
Oh,
This is a World
don't
Cup.
no.
Anyway, what else? Anything else? Was there anything else that happened?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
We saw Guided by Voices. Show.
We did. We went and saw Guided by Voices, which was great as always. This was a show where they did not run out of liquor.
Nope.
They, in fact, during the last song, Bob was passing out free beer to people from the stage. Also, I got to tug off the tequila. So that's
Bob
always
Pollard
helpful.
is my dad's age, by the way. I just want
Yeah,
to point that out.
he's up there.
He still got it.
He still does it.
Got it. It was a good show.
very
Everybody
exciting.
loved it, and it was a way better venue for them. They should stay at Jack's.
Oh yeah,
That Republic show was a piece of shit.
yeah. This is much better.
I don't think I've ever gone to a show at the Republic.
You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll describe them for you if you want me.
No, I'm good.
That's all you got to do.
I feel like I got my money's worth at this one. This was really good. I will say that also because I am not quite as old as Bob, but I'm getting there. I injured myself jumping up and down like an asshole.
Oh my god, what did you do?
That's what you do there.
We did what you do at the Guided by Voices show is you go and you stand in the pit in front of the stage and you get high fives from Bob. You get the tequila passed around to you and then you drink and you jump up and down the whole time. So the next
sing.
yeah, but then the next day, like my calf was tired and I tried to go running on it, and so then I've pulled something, and so now I'm on injured reserve again. I can't.
My injury was my ears. That was the only show I've ever been to where my ears were ringing afterwards.
Yeah, we were kind of like up on the thing.
We were right by the stack.
I have concert earplugs that I bring to shows now.
I always see people with those and be like, fucking poser.
Why are you? No, it's kind of a good idea.
It's kind of a good idea, but that does not address that you're a poser if you do it.
I'm not a poser. I'm not posing at all.
I brought earplugs to this show.
No, it's a poser thing.
And I put them in for the first couple songs. I'm like, this sounds like shit. So I
Yeah,
took
you're
them out.
not hardcore.
And then-
Just go sit in the back. It's fine.
And then
Doesn't.
and
do
then
anything
I suffered
different.
for it the next day or two.
Yeah,
But
I don't need tinnitus. I'm good.
I had it. It went away. That's fine.
okay, good for you.
Oh.
Yeah, no. So like that doesn't work. Like ears don't work on you anymore. My leg doesn't work because I hurt myself with the thing. I got a problem with my arm. I got tendonitis in my arm. I'm falling apart.
If your limbs are falling apart, it's fine. It's the organs you got to fucking watch out for.
Okay.
That's the HIV
I'll keep an eye on
MO.
that. I bring
Keep them organs alive.
the only reason I bring this up
Fuck
because
the outlying systems.
it's my birthday this Sunday, so I'm going to be
44?
It's going to be worse. Yeah. So,
Jesus.
so I think these are all just signs that things are going downhill.
More signs.
Yes, more of them.
Let's not say signs. Like, it's the first one.
So I think that's all of them. Do we have any other?
Yeah, I'm
So-sos?
fading fast. Let's
Okay.
Jive Wire and sayonara.
All right, let's get a.
Y'all act like you don't sleep till noon or something.
Some of us
No.
got to pretend to work at certain hours of the day. Jaguar. Printed it out this time. You hear that?
We got papers.
Yeah.
Do you need me to hold the flashlight?
No, I think I can make it. My eyes are going. I don't know if you know. This is the Hunker Downcast Jive Wire, your fake music calendar for no night in particular. What are the things about the Jive Wire that people need to know?
It used to be sponsored by
It's sponsored
Ira
by
Ray.
somebody, but we were
We
sponsored.
yeah.
Sponsored by our Patreon.
Sponsored by Hey guys, go to the Patreon.
I'll
and
look that up while you read
do a
it.
thing. The Steamboat Queenie hosts Cali Calio, Bad Sunset. The 70s Ski Chalet has the Lusher Lushes at 6. Something called Space Force and the Jail Babies are at the Box Cage at 6. Muttering Bills features Brain Eating Abitas, which I think Lance is protected from here at 7. A TBA Airbnb hosts The Struggling Flippers at 7. The 2-Bit Rondos and the Backdoor Boogies are at the How Now Brow Bar, and that's at 7.
How now brow bar.
That's what I said.
It's 2 brows.
How now? Oh, okay.
How now brow.
Sure. Good. The Broken Window Bar has License to Ride at 8. The Frenchman Tourist Trap hosts Greasy Gree at 9. The Cantrell Cantina hosts the Hashtaggers at 9. Cheers in Algiers is at Caesars on Tuesday?
Caesars on Tuesday.
Caesars on Tuesday.
Don't send them down on Wednesday.
Nothing happens on Wednesday. Sidebar has fake subpoenas at 10. Jameson's Crab Shack is back in business. They're hosting Over Ubered at 10.
It's a waste of time.
Wow. Throwback show.
Yeah, but it happened again. The $1 Billion Backlog Bar, I don't think we even talked about this today, that hosts the Road Gnome program at 10.
Oh. They're just a really cute band.
Harold's Clarion has Barrett is Bay at 10. There's a World Cup watch party with Folksy John at Putin's Place at 10. There's some other additions here. There's a long jive wire today.
What's happening?
The Booty Bop is at Sexual Harassment Cesspool at 8.
Booty pop is
Yeah. This is some extra. This is back at 7 o'clock again. Bad Brandon Browner is at the PI place. That's at 7 o'clock. Again, he's jumping around at the times. 9 o'clock, something called Miss Jackson If You're Nasty, performing at the Open Freshness Bar. Paul Pogba and Zinedine Zidane play at Copa Mundial and the French... What the hell is that?
Their
say?
accompaniment is the French alliteration.
The French alliterations. Oh, I get it.
Paul Pogba
Oh.
and Zinedine Zidane.
Alright.
And the French
What the hell is that? 4 a.m.? What the fuck are they doing?
It's,
it's
a
at-
very
I
esoteric.
got
9
it.
a.m.
Sorry. So me
9
reading
a.m.
reading the thing for the first time.
Yeah, we can tell.
What else?
God, you stammered your way through it, man.
What else is going on here? Well, skip that. Finally, we've got the
This is so authentic. It sounds like I'm really listening to OZ right now.
Yeah, finally, Rat Dance Party is at the French Market Cafe all night long.
Oh, no.
To get your gig into the Jive Wire, tweet at us. Don't do anything else, really, because we don't know how to check things. What is it? Add Hunker Downcast on Twitter. And do the Patreon if you can.
Our Patreon is patreon.com/hunkerdowncast. And if you there are several payment options available. You can become one. And if you want for Jeff and Alli to not be so tired when we do these late night sessions, they can quit their jobs because you guys supported us, and we'll do more shows and have gear and all kinds of stuff like that and be legit if you just go and help us. And we swear, big episode 50 is coming up, and we'll do something special for that.
Okay, that's great. Also, get out there, support,
and enjoy
some live
Local
music. And yeah, I think that's it. We did the things. And
I'll be back in a couple weeks.
Alli's going off on another sojourn across the country.
Yeah.
Going up to Michigan and then down to Georgia and then make another lap or two. And then,
gotta see all the families.
All right. Well, and then I'm having a birthday, and then Lance is doing something.
I'm having a birthday too.
Gonna count.
Yeah. Are you coming back before your birthday or after?
Before.
Okay. So we'll do that.
Yeah.
Dual birthday.
Oh, okay.
Our birthdays are very close.
Yeah.
I'm not turning 44 though. Fuck no.
It happens.
She ain't doing that shit.
Hell no.
Fuck turning 44.
Well, I'll be dead by then.
Okay, nobody else has anything. We're going to shut it down.
Good night.
Thanks again
Thank
for
you.
listening, everybody.